First contact through fire. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of Deep Space Monitoring Station Arcturus, watching the quantum arrays slowly rotate against the backdrop of stars. After 15 years of scanning the cosmos for signs of intelligent life, the station had recorded nothing but the usual background noise of the universe. That changed exactly 6 hours ago. "Commander, we've completed the third verification sequence," Lieutenant Rodriguez called from his station. "The signal's authentic. It's not natural, and it's not one of ours." Sarah's fingers tightened on the railing. Humanity had waited centuries for this moment, but something felt wrong. The signal didn't follow any of the expected first contact protocols that Earth had been broadcasting into space. Instead, it pulsed with an erratic rhythm that seemed almost desperate. "Show me the pattern analysis again," she ordered, moving to the central holographic display. The three-dimensional visualization materialized before her, a complex quantum signature that somehow managed to pierce subspace in a way their best scientists had thought impossible. "The interesting part isn't just the signal itself," Dr. Emily Shaw, their quantum physicist, interjected. She manipulated the display, highlighting specific segments. "It's encoded in a way that suggests whoever sent it knew exactly how our quantum detection systems work. They wanted us specifically to find this." Before Sarah could respond, every emergency light in the station flashed red. Warning klaxons blared as ancient protocols, buried deep in Earth's defense mainframe, suddenly activated. Systems that hadn't been touched since the early days of human expansion into space roared to life. "What the hell?" Rodriguez's hands flew across his console. "Commander, military installations across Earth and all colonies are going to high alert. The signal. It's triggered something in our oldest defense networks." Sarah's comm unit crackled with an incoming priority transmission. The holographic face of Admiral Chen materialized, her mother, though neither of them let that influence their professional relationship. "Sarah, tell me you're seeing this." The Admiral's voice was tense. The Lazarus Protocol just activated. The blood drained from Sarah's face. The Lazarus Protocol was a theoretical response to an extinction-level threat created during humanity's first steps into space. It had never been needed. "Confirmed, Admiral. We're tracking automated responses across all military installations, but why would a first contact signal trigger?" She was cut off as Dr. Shaw gasped. The quantum signature had changed, unfolding into a complex message that wrote itself across their screens in perfect English. "To the children of Sol 3, the warriors shaped by adversity, we die so that you may be warned. They come from between spaces. They have harvested 1,000 worlds. You alone may survive what follows. The crucible that forged you will be your salvation." The message repeated once, then the quantum signal collapsed in on itself. In its wake, their long-range sensors detected something massive emerging from subspace at the edge of the solar system. "Multiple contacts," Rodriguez reported, his voice steady despite the situation. "Largest is approximately 300 kilometers in length. Configuration unknown. They're not matching any known design principles." Admiral Chen's expression hardened. "Commander Chen, you know what the Lazarus Protocol requires. Every warship, every soldier, every defense platform we have. Everything goes to full combat readiness. If this is truly what we prepared for all those centuries ago." Sarah nodded grimly. "Then we'll show them why evolving on a death world made humanity different." She turned to her crew, seeing the same determination reflected in their eyes. "Send word to all stations. Combat Alert Alpha. This is not a drill." As humanity's military might awakened across the stars, Sarah couldn't help but wonder about the civilization that sent the warning. Had they known that by choosing humanity, they were selecting the one species in this sector of space that evolved through constant conflict, a species that turned the endless challenges of their homeworld into strengths? The massive alien ships drew closer, their intentions unknown but their presence triggering humanity's deepest defense protocols. Whatever was coming, Earth's children would face it as they had faced every challenge since climbing down from the trees, with innovation, determination, and the unrelenting will to survive that made them the apex predators of their world. Humanity had been warned. Now they would show the galaxy why that warning had been sent to them specifically. The children of Earth were about to demonstrate exactly what it meant to be forged in the crucible of a death world. And somewhere in the vast darkness of space, ancient beings were about to learn why selecting humanity as their last hope had either been their wisest decision or their final mistake. The price of being Apex, the shipboard AI of the UES Hyperion, announced their arrival at the edge of the Proxima Centauri system with characteristic precision. Captain Maya Patel watched as the massive battleship's quantum drives powered down, its sensor arrays already scanning for the unknown vessels that had triggered humanity's ancient defense protocols. In the 12 hours since the mysterious warning, Earth's entire military apparatus had mobilized with unprecedented speed. Ships that hadn't left dock in decades hummed to life, their crews discovering that regular drills had kept them razor-sharp for exactly this moment. "Captain, we're picking up unusual quantum signatures," Lieutenant Park reported from his station. "Similar to the original warning signal, but different. They're coming from the direction of the alien fleet." Maya leaned forward in her command chair. "Show me." The holographic display materialized, showing a massive vessel unlike anything humanity had ever constructed. Its surface seemed to ripple and shift, defying conventional physics. But what caught Maya's attention were the smaller ships surrounding it, vessels she recognized from historical archives. "Those are Archon ships," she breathed. The Archons were one of the first alien species humanity had contacted, though they had always maintained their distance. Now she knew why. The quantum communications array pulsed as a transmission cut through space. An Archon appeared on their main screen, its crystalline features arranged in what Maya had learned to recognize as an expression of grave concern. "Children of Earth," the Archon spoke, its translator converting complex harmonics into English. "We have watched your species since you first reached for the stars. We knew this day would come." Maya straightened in her chair. "You knew about the threat. Why didn't you warn us sooner?" "Because warning you would have changed everything," another voice cut in. A new figure appeared, a Nexian, their biomechanical bodies glowing with internal energy. "You needed to develop naturally, to maintain the very qualities that make you unique." The pieces started falling into place in Maya's mind. The warning signal, it wasn't just to alert us. It was to trigger our defense protocols, to show everyone that we were ready. "Correct," the Archon confirmed. "Your species evolved on what we call a Class 12 death world. Your gravity is crushing, your atmosphere corrosive by our standards. Your planet's overwhelming biodiversity forced you to become supreme adapters, and constant predator pressure made you natural warriors." The Nexian continued, "The enemy that approaches, we call them the Void Hunters. They have destroyed 1,000 civilizations, but those civilizations evolved on gentle worlds. They never developed the traits that humanity takes for granted. Physical endurance," the Archon listed, "incredible damage resistance, the ability to heal from almost any injury, and most importantly, the cognitive adaptability to overcome any challenge. You are the product of an evolutionary crucible that makes you uniquely suited to fight this enemy." Maya's tactical display suddenly lit up with new contacts. More alien ships were arriving. Species she recognized, and many she didn't. All of them took up defensive positions alongside the human fleet. "The Void Hunters cannot be reasoned with," the Nexian explained. "They exist to consume, to harvest the essence of sentient species. We have fought them for millennia, always losing ground. But now you have us," Maya finished. She understood why the other species had kept their distance, why they had watched humanity's development so carefully. They hadn't been studying humans, they had been waiting for humanity to reach its full potential. The tactical display updated again. The Void Hunters' fleet was approaching, their massive ships distorting space itself. Maya opened a channel to all ships, human and alien alike. "This is Captain Patul of the UES Hyperion. To all vessels, combat formation Delta. Show these void hunters why picking a fight with the children of Earth was their last mistake." As ships moved into position, Maya received tactical data from their new allies. The void hunters had never faced a species that evolved on a world as harsh as Earth. They had never encountered beings who viewed combat as an art form, who had turned the brutal lessons of evolution into a science of warfare. The massive enemy vessels grew larger on their screens, but Maya felt no fear. Humanity had spent its entire existence preparing for this moment, even if they hadn't known it. Every predator they had evaded, every natural disaster they had survived, every challenge they had overcome, it had all led to this. The Void Hunters were about to learn why the galaxy's elder races had placed their final hope in a species of Deathworlders. They were about to discover what it meant to face warriors forged in the fires of Earth's relentless evolution. Maya smiled grimly as the first shots were fired. The real test of humanity's strength was about to begin. Children of a harsh world. The first battle between humanity and the Void Hunters began in a way no military strategist could have predicted. As the massive alien vessels approached, their weapons charging with impossible energies, humanity's response came not from their capital ships, but from their smallest vessels. Lieutenant Commander Rex Torres watched from the bridge of his corvette, the UES Swift Strike, as the human fleet executed a maneuver that made their alien allies recoil in shock. Instead of maintaining a defensive formation, hundreds of smaller ships broke ranks, accelerating directly toward the enemy. "All hands, brace for atmospheric entry protocols," Rex ordered, his voice steady. His crew, all veterans of deep space rescue operations, knew exactly what he meant. They were about to use techniques developed for diving into gas giants to penetrate the strange spatial distortions surrounding the Void Hunter ships. "Sir, the Archon fleet is requesting we fall back," his communications officer reported. "They say what we're attempting is suicide." Rex allowed himself a grim smile. "Tell them to watch and learn why humans are the galaxy's best rescue operators. Execute Plan Thunderbolt." The Swift Strike's engines roared as it led the charge. The Void Hunter's spatial distortions were meant to tear ships apart, but they hadn't counted on facing vessels designed to withstand the crushing pressures of gas giant atmospheres. Humanity had spent centuries perfecting ships that could operate in conditions that other species considered impossible. "Multiple contacts," his sensor officer called out. "The Void Hunters are launching something. Organic mechanical hybrid units." Through the view screen, Rex watched as swarms of crystalline entities emerged from the massive ships. They moved with deadly grace, their forms constantly shifting between solid and energy states. These were the Harvesters, the weapons that had ended 1,000 civilizations. But they had never faced humans before. "Launch countermeasures," Rex ordered. From his ship and dozens of others, specially designed pods were ejected. As they detonated, they released clouds of engineered bacteria, another uniquely human innovation. The microscopic organisms, developed from extremophiles found in Earth's deepest ocean trenches, began consuming the energy fields that the crystalline entities used to maintain their form. The Void Hunters' weapons started failing, their perfect formations breaking down as they encountered something they had never faced before: biological warfare on a microscopic scale. "Sir, we've breached their outer defenses," his tactical officer reported. Other corvettes reporting successful penetration. The Void Hunters, they don't know how to handle ships getting this close. Rex understood why. The Void Hunters had evolved their tactics fighting species that relied on large, powerful vessels. They weren't prepared for humans, who had learned from the smallest predators on Earth that sometimes the most effective strategy was to get inside your enemy's defenses. "All ships, execute close-quarters assault protocols," he ordered. "Show them why humanity's ships are called wolf packs by our allies." The corvettes swarmed around the massive Void Hunter vessels like piranha, their specially designed weaponry targeting weak points that their alien allies' long-range scans had identified. Where other species saw the Void Hunters' spatial distortions as an impenetrable defense, humanity's ships dove through them, using the same techniques they'd developed for rescuing ships caught in gas giant storms. "Sir, the main Void Hunter vessel is adapting," his tactical officer warned. "They're trying to reconfigure their defenses." "Too late," Rex replied, watching as the coordinated assault continued. "They don't understand that humans have spent their entire history adapting faster than their opponents." Launch the boarding pods. That was humanity's true advantage. While other species saw space combat as a battle of massive ships and energy weapons, humans had never forgotten the lessons learned from Earth's smallest but most successful predators. Sometimes victory came not from overwhelming force, but from getting inside your enemy's defenses and attacking from within. The boarding pods, carrying specially trained teams in pressure suits designed to withstand the crushing depths of Earth's oceans, latched onto the Void Hunter vessels. Where other species would have tried to destroy these massive ships from the outside, humanity had decided to infiltrate them. "All teams deployed," his tactical officer confirmed. "They're breaking through the hull using modified mining equipment. The Void Hunters, they don't seem to have any internal defense protocols. They never expected anyone to get this close." Rex watched as the battle unfolded. The Void Hunters had expected to face the same tactics they'd encountered for millennia. Instead, they were fighting a species that had evolved on a world where every day was a battle for survival, where adaptation wasn't just an advantage but a necessity. "Sir," message from the boarding teams, his communications officer called out. "They've reached the central control nodes. They're implementing the virus now. A virus based on the same principles that allowed Earth's most resilient organisms to survive in the harshest conditions. A weapon that would turn the Void Hunters' own spatial manipulation technology against them." As the massive enemy ships began to falter, Rex opened a channel to the rest of the fleet. "This is Lieutenant Commander Torres. Phase 1 complete. All ships prepare for Phase 2. Let's show these harvesters why you don't pick a fight with a species that turned their death world into an advantage." The real battle was just beginning, but humanity had already proven why they were the galaxy's last, best hope. They had taken everything their harsh world had taught them and turned it into a weapon that even the Void Hunters couldn't counter. The hunter becomes prey. General Helena Dax studied the holographic battle map from the command center of Titan Base, watching as humanity's forces continued their assault on the Void Hunters. The initial success of the Corvette cruise had opened up possibilities that even Earth's most optimistic strategists hadn't anticipated. "Ma'am, we're receiving data streams from the boarding teams," Colonel Jong reported. "The Void Hunters' internal architecture. It's organic, almost like a living ship." Helena's eyes narrowed. Living ships meant biological systems, and if there was one thing humans understood, it was exploiting biological weaknesses. "Get me Dr. Ramirez from the Biological Warfare Division." Now, the holographic form of Dr. Isabella Ramirez appeared moments later, her lab coat stained with various substances Helena decided not to question. "General, you're going to love this," the scientist said without preamble. "Those samples the boarding teams sent back. The Void Hunters aren't just living ships. They're a hive mind species that never developed individual immune systems. Because they never needed them." Helena finished, understanding dawning. "They've been the apex predators for so long, they never had to defend against biological attacks." "Exactly." Isabella's eyes gleamed with the particular madness that made her Earth's top biological warfare expert. "You know what else never developed proper immune systems? The parasitic wasps on Earth that spent millions of years as apex predators in their own domain." Helena smiled grimly. "Until they met something new that could fight back. How quickly can you weaponize this weakness?" "Already done," Isabella replied. "Remember those extremophile bacteria we used in the first assault? I've modified them to target the Void Hunters' neural pathways. Once inside their systems, they'll multiply exponentially, disrupting their hive mind communication. On the battle map, more Void Hunter vessels were appearing through spatial rifts, their massive forms distorting space itself. But Helena saw something the enemy didn't: panic in their movements. For the first time in their existence, they were facing a species that didn't fight according to their rules. "Colonel John, get me a direct line to all human vessels," Helena ordered. "And patch in our alien allies. They need to see this." As the communication links established, Helena addressed the combined fleet. "This is General Dax. The Void Hunters thought they were the ultimate predators, but they forgot something crucial. On Earth, even apex predators have to watch their backs. Execute Operation Parasitic Strike." Across the battlefield, human ships launched what appeared to be conventional missiles. The Void Hunters' defenses easily caught them, exactly as planned. The missiles detonated, releasing clouds of engineered bacteria directly into the energy fields the enemy used to protect themselves. "They're trying to adapt," Jean reported, watching the sensor feeds. "Their spatial distortion fields are intensifying, trying to destroy the bacterial agents." "That won't work," Isabella's hologram commented with professional satisfaction. "These bacteria evolved from organisms that survive in volcanic vents. A little spatial distortion won't bother them." The effect was devastating. The Void Hunters' perfect coordination began to break down as the bacterial agents invaded their neural networks. Ships that had moved with singular purpose started displaying erratic behavior, their hive mind connection disrupted by microscopic invaders they had no defense against. "Message from the Archon fleet," Zhang announced. They're asking if this is some kind of human magic." Helena laughed. "Tell them it's just good old-fashioned Earth biology. Sometimes the deadliest weapons aren't the biggest ones." The battle map showed Void Hunter vessels attempting to retreat, but they found themselves caught in humanity's trap. The bacterial agents had already compromised their spatial manipulation abilities, making their preferred escape method impossible. "All ships, commence final phase," Helena ordered. "Show them why Earth species learn never to back a predator into a corner." The human fleet moved with practiced precision, their smaller ships herding the massive Void Hunter vessels into killing zones while their capital ships delivered the final blows. It was a hunting pattern that would have been familiar to any wolf pack on Earth. "General," Zhang's voice carried a note of awe. "The Nexian fleet is requesting permission to study our bacterial weapons. They say they've never seen biological warfare conducted on this scale." "Tell them this is just the beginning," Helena replied. "Humanity spent its entire history fighting threats we couldn't overpower directly. We learned to use everything at our disposal, from the smallest microbe to the largest warship." The battle continued to unfold, but the outcome was no longer in doubt. The Void Hunters, for all their technological supremacy, had never faced a species that understood what it truly meant to be a predator. They had never encountered beings who had evolved on a world where every living thing, down to the smallest bacteria, could be either a weapon or a threat. As the enemy fleet crumbled under humanity's multi-pronged assault, Helena opened a channel to Earth Command. "This is General Dax. Phase 4 complete. The Void Hunters are in full retreat. Request permission to begin pursuit operations." The response came quickly. "Permission granted. Show them why humanity doesn't just fight battles. We end threats." The human fleet formed up, preparing to chase down their wounded prey. The galaxy was about to learn why Earth's children didn't just survive on their death world. They had mastered it, and now they would use those lessons to protect the entire galaxy. Legacy of the Deathworlders. 1 year after humanity's decisive victory over the Void Hunters, the Grand Council chamber of the Galactic Concordat buzzed with activity. Ambassador Diana Chen stood at the podium, representing Earth in the first full assembly of spacefaring civilizations in recorded history. The chamber itself had been specially modified to accommodate human environmental needs, a sign of how much had changed. "The last Void Hunter high ship has been neutralized," Diana announced to the assembled representatives. Their threat to galactic civilization is over. But more importantly, we've learned something from this conflict that will reshape our understanding of evolution itself. Holograms materialized around the chamber, showing footage from the various battles. Human ships diving through spatial distortions, boarding teams infiltrating massive enemy vessels, and the microscopic warfare that had turned the tide. The Void Hunters failed, Diana continued, not because they weren't powerful enough, but because they have forgotten something fundamental about evolution. True strength doesn't come from being unchallenged. It comes from overcoming challenges. The Archon representative, their crystalline form shimmering, spoke next. Humanity has proven this beyond doubt. While we sought to avoid hardship, your species embraced it. Every challenge Earth presented made you stronger, more adaptable. This is why we propose a new approach to galactic development, Diana said. Earth will establish training facilities for other species' military forces, not to make them into Deathworlders, but to teach them the principles that allowed humanity to survive and thrive in extreme conditions. The chamber erupted in discussion. On the displays, new footage appeared. Alien soldiers training alongside humans in enhanced gravity environments, learning to adapt to rapidly changing conditions, studying Earth's countless examples of evolutionary innovation. But we offer more than just military knowledge. Diana's voice cut through the noise. Earth scientists have already begun developing medical treatments based on our robust immune systems. Our extremophile bacteria are being modified to clean up toxic worlds. The very adaptations that made us formidable warriors also make us uniquely suited to help other species thrive. The Nexian representative's biomechanical form pulsed with interest. Already, the application of human biological science has allowed us to colonize worlds we once thought uninhabitable. Your species' understanding of adaptation and survival has opened new frontiers. Diana nodded. This is humanity's true legacy. Not just as warriors who defeated the Void Hunters, but as teachers who can help the galaxy's civilizations reach their full potential. Earth was called a death world, but we prefer to think of it as a crucible, one that forged us into beings capable of turning any challenge into an opportunity. The chamber's attention turned to a new hologram, a recording from the final battle against the Void Hunters. It showed human ships working in perfect coordination with alien vessels, executing tactics that combined the best of both species' capabilities. We understand why you watched us for so long before making contact, Diana said, addressing the elder races directly. You needed to know if we would use our abilities for conquest or protection. Today, we reaffirm our commitment to the latter. She gestured to a document hovering in the air before her. The Earth Accords, as proposed, will establish new protocols for interspecies cooperation, military training, scientific exchange, colonial development, all guided by the principles that allowed life on Earth to flourish in even the harshest conditions. The Archon representative rose. We support these accords. Humanity has proven itself not just through victory in battle, but through their willingness to share their strength. One by one, representatives from across the galaxy indicated their support. Species that had once feared the aggressive potential of Deathworlders now saw humanity as essential allies in building a stronger galactic community. Let this be remembered, Diana concluded, not as the day humanity proved its superiority, but as the day we all recognized a fundamental truth. Strength comes in many forms, and only by combining our different evolutionary experiences can we reach our full potential as a galactic civilization. As the chamber erupted in approval, Diana smiled. The Void Hunters had intended to harvest the galaxy's civilizations, but instead they had inadvertently united them. Humanity's role had evolved from warriors to teachers, from survivors to guides. The children of Earth had not just saved the galaxy, they had changed it forever, proving that the harsh lessons of their death world could light the way toward a future where every species could thrive, adapt, and overcome any challenge the universe presented. In the end, humanity's greatest victory wasn't defeating the Void Hunters. It was showing the galaxy that even the harshest conditions could produce something magnificent if one was willing to adapt, to learn, and to never stop evolving.